Hello and welcome to the Channel 1 Newsroom from our studios at number 5 Ola Hansen Lane at Tesano in Accra. I am Umaru Sanda Amadou. Coming up. Government raises cocoa producer price to 51,000 cedis per ton for 2025-2026 season.
The government of Ghana is pleased to announce an increase in the producer price of cocoa from $3,100 per ton to $5,040 per ton.
Prime suspect in GIS officer's murder to reappear in court August 8 as police probe intensifies.
The investigation took a decisive turn on 16 July 2025 when the CID, supported by officers from the counter-terrorism unit and the Akwatia District Police, visited the suspect's residence. A forensic inspection revealed the following: blood stains in the living room and evidence of attempted cleanup, freshly sprayed walls, and empty can of spray paint.
GES, WASSCE rollout security measures as 2025 WASSCE begins amid clashes in Baku.
Taking adequate security measures. I will give you some of the specifics. So we are in touch with the security agencies there, and the students are going to take their exams in the school under security protection.
NDC picks Bernard Baidu as candidate for Akwatia by-election.
I declare Mr. Bernard Baidu as candidate-elect for the NDC for the Akwatia parliamentary by-elections.
In CNR Business. State Housing Company engages local and foreign firms to revive stalled affordable housing projects. And in Channel 1 Sports, debate erupts as GFA considers extending presidential term limit to 3. We're grateful that you join us for the Channel 1 Newsroom on Channel 1 Television. We'll start off with the cocoa sector. And beginning August 7, cocoa farmers across Ghana will earn 51,000 cedis per ton or 3,200 per 64-kilogram bag for the 2025-2026 crop season. This is a 4.2% rise from the previous season's 49,600 cedis per ton, and follows the government's decision to increase the dollar-based producer price. Announced on Monday by the Producer Price Review Committee, the increment aligns with the government's commitment to ensure cocoa farmers receive 70% of the gross free on-board value of exports. This report by Netele Netiajaho has more details.
Notes that this increment is coming on the back of a strong Ghana cedi and declining inflation. Finance Minister Dr. Atuforsen, addressing the press on Monday, said government has subsidized the cocoa farmer with an amount of 1,114 Ghana cedis for each bag of cocoa sold since 2025 Q2.
The government of Ghana is pleased to announce an increase in the producer price of cocoa from $3,100 per ton to $5,040 per ton. The government has, by this decision, increased the producer price significantly by 62.58% in US dollar terms. This increase in the producer price represents 70% of the gross free on-board value of $7,200 per ton, and aligns with the NDC's manifesto and President Mohammed's promise to pay the cocoa farmer 70% of the FOB price. It is significant to note that for the 2024 and 2025 crop season, the previous administration set an FOB value of 4,850 per ton of cocoa.
The committee also endorsed fees and margins for stakeholders within the cocoa sector.
The Producer Price Review Committee has also approved rates, margins, and fees for all other stakeholders in cocoa supply chain. These include the buyer's margin, the haulier's rate, warehousing and internal marketing costs, fees for disinfestation, grading and sealing, and weighing, scaling, inspection. In preparation for the new season, Cocoa Board has made available jute sacks and related logistics for the smooth takeoff of the 2025-2026 crop season.
Now, for more on the newly announced Cocoa Producer Prize by the Ghana Cocoa Board, we are joined by the ranking member of Parliament's Food and Agriculture Committee, Dr. Ezekiel Opoku, for some further engagements. Doc, you're welcome to Channel 1 Newsroom. Now, the government is announcing and saying that a 65% increase has been witnessed in the producer price. This appears to be a major victory based on what the government is saying. At face value, it should be celebrated. How do you assess this increment?
Umaru, aren't you shocked yourself?
I am shocked because it is a huge leap, 60% plus.
Oh, Maru, I think it should be the other way around.
Oh, really?
You see, yes, what the government is doing is a top-bottom approach. What do we want to pay? What farm gate price do we want to give to farmers? So they establish that figure before they work around it to achieve to what they are giving out to farmers today. In other words, what I'm saying is that I don't even agree to the FOB price they are quoting. I don't agree to the CD exchange rate they are quoting. I don't agree to any condition they have, established. I don't agree to any of them. In any case, Umaru, what was the basis for promising cocoa farmers that when they win power, they will pay cocoa farmers 6,000 cedis per bag? In fact, Honorable Dr. Kesel Atuposen even went further. At a point, he even promised 7,000. So what was the basis? What was the basis? Cocoa farmers, they don't know any calculation. They don't believe in these gimmicks. They don't. So all what they are looking for, all what they are asking the government to do is to fulfill their promise of 6,000 cedis per bag. Umaru, let's be honest with ourselves. If the MPP government, even the Nanado Bawumia government, had yielded to their pressure and increased cocoa price to 6,000 or 7,000 at a time, would they have reduced the price today? So they should apologize to cocoa.
They say, Doc, that technically there's not a reduction. They say that this increase is in fulfillment of the president's pledge to pay cocoa farmers 70% of the FOB, which currently stands at 7,200 cedis. By contrast, during your tenure, the Akufo-Addo era, if I could just land, if I could just land, Honorable, during your tenure, farmers received 63.9%, and this is a bigger percentage in terms of the FOB value, they say.
So where is the FOB price of 7,000 coming from? That's why I told you that it is a top-bottom approach. They know what they want to give to farmers, so they are working around to achieve what they call 70%. 70% you can calculate from any figure. That is the figure they intended to pay cocoa farmers. Is it equivalent to, is it the same as the 6,000? Umaru, is it the same as the 6,000? That's what I'm saying. If they want to pay 3,150, they would have so quoted some figures and calculated 70%. So it's a top-bottom approach.
Another element you may not have talked about, which the government has used, is the issue of exchange rate. And they say that the real benefit appears less significant. Last year, farmers earned $173 per bag, when the CD traded at 16 cedis to the dollar, amounting to 3,100. This year, though, the dollar equivalent rises to $315, which is like more than half, which is 60+%. And the stronger CD means the farmers take home about 3,228 cedis, which, if you compare to the same figure last year or early January, you would say that in terms of value, the farmers are getting more than they got the last time.
Omaro, that is not true. You see, when the MPP took over, if you do the cross-checking, you realize that 2017, the world market price came to as low as $1,800 per ton. As low as that. It was hovering around $2,400 per ton. Then, at a point, it jumped to $10,000 per ton. Then, all of a sudden, Honorable Eric Opoku, Honorable Atufosin were all over the place on various campaign platforms that the 70% of the 10,000 was 6,000, 7,000 per bag. That was the spot price. Fortunately for them, when they took over, between January and March, the price peaked around $12,000 per ton. 12,000. So that is why I'm saying, where are they getting this 7,000? Is it 7,200 or so per ton? Where are they getting that figure from? When the figure was 12,000 cedis per ton, how much did they offer the cocoa farmer? How much did they offer the cocoa farmer? So what they are saying is just gimmicks.
Okay.
It's just gimmicks. You see, so all what the cocoa farmer is asking for is what they promised. Honorable Eric Opoku, he gathered all the cocoa farmers at Dadiaso and told them, he promised them that when we win power, we will pay them minimum 6,000 per ton. Were they thinking that the conditions then would remain static?
You once worked as cocoa board. Is there any practical way to caution farmers against this exchange rate volatility? In the oil sector, they have what they call hedging. Do you think that's a policy that could be introduced in the cocoa sector?
There's a policy. You see, Omaro, if you are a maize farmer and you take your produce to Techiman, you are getting 100 cedis per bag every week. You know, one particular week there was a shortage on the market, so you were lucky and you got something around 500 Ghana cedis. You don't come back and tell your workers that, the price of maize has now jumped from 100 to 500, so your wages will be increased by 1,000%. You don't do that. You see, it's a kind of weighted average, an achieved average. So you don't just use the spot price. And you also know that cocoa board, they don't sell all their cocoa on the spot. They do some forward sales. So you wait until at the end of the season, then you do the calculation and see how much you have achieved. Then you fix the producer price. You see, if you are lucky and the producer price goes up, then there's a small, windfall. You offer the cocoa farmer what we call bonus.
Okay.
So that is what we do all the time. You see, so you don't just use one spot price to determine your producer price. As for the exchange rate, it's very difficult to predict, and be sure that it's going to remain static for the whole year. You cannot.
Very well.
You cannot.
Salvaged from the blaze was a safe belonging to the National Film Authority. While a substantial amount of cash inside was burnt, authorities managed to recover about 7,500 cedis.
A box that is lying there is the safe that they have here. They said it's Ghana Film National Film Authority safe. So the accountant signaled us that they had some money in it. So we went there and brought the safe out, and we used our force entry tools to break into the safe, and you can see them counting. In fact, no fireman has touched this money. It is not our responsibility to touch the money. It is the owners who have that responsibility, and that is exactly what you are seeing here, sorting out the bent and the unbent currencies.
Officials say the entire center could have been lost if not for the swift intervention of firefighters. Several offices, including the reception area, have been reduced to ashes. Thankfully, no casualties were recorded and the fire has been brought under control. The exact cause of the incident is still unknown, but Ras Caleb Apia-Levy, president of the Pan-African Ghana, whose office was completely destroyed, suspects a gas explosion in one of the offices.
Learned that it was a gas cylinder, which belongs to Reggie Rockstone's watch's place. I was very much concerned that the kitchen has to be situated here. I would have wished that he had the kitchen outside this premises. Then they bring the food here. I think from henceforth that needs to be done if he wants to operate here. But I'm not against him because he didn't intentionally plan for that thing to happen. So it's a mishap.
Greater Accra Assistant Chief Fire Officer has been speaking on the extent of damage at the center.
The fire has affected the top floor of the building, but there are some rooms at the down floor which has not been affected. They also have a theater at the back there. That one has not also been affected. So that is it.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Abelaji Fagomashi, says the National Film Authority will be temporarily relocated.
Right now, I'm making plans to move the office of the National Film Authority to another agency to go and be temporarily housed there. So we are able to figure out what to do.
Meanwhile, at the Medina Red Coast slum area, traders who lost their shops in the devastating fire were seen at the scene, anxiously awaiting support from NADMO to help revive their businesses. Many are calling for urgent assistance to rebuild their livelihoods.
And a payer by no sono, NADMO for Baha, a bit checky, say, Bia, and Crofosica, Nasa Bibi or Honoma, Nasa Monia Mano, a Corsayana, and almost so muchly Musabia, a Casse Newa, Hebia, Honomo Janisika, Ewo Honomontino. Yes, almost so much or Troy. And almost as I dear Betty or Monka, and a fire service force so by Hanomo, and a police for no so 1990.
And from that up to now, we do not know people came here, come and take an assessment. But from there up to now, we are not seeing anything yet. We saw the police people park their cars over there. But we are here, so but nobody tells us anything. Like the here is being declared as a security zone. We didn't hear anything like that. But maybe if they told the other people, I can't tell.
Now, the prime suspect in the murder of a Ghana Immigration Service officer, Stephen King Amwa, is scheduled to reappear before the Adabraka District Court on August 8, 2025. The suspect, identified as Bright Awe, who has formerly been charged with murder and remains in police custody. Providing chilling details surrounding the gruesome murder, Director General of the Police CID, COP Lydia Yako Donko, noted the police had intensified investigations into the grisly killing of Stephen King Amwa, whose charred body was discovered on Wednesday, July 9, 2025. There's more in the following report by Channel 1 News' Fauzu Masawudu.
The charred body of Stephen King Amwa, an immigration officer, was discovered on 9th July 2025 in a gutter near GBC Satellite opposite Comet Estate, a suburb of Accra, after being reported missing on 4th July. Preliminary investigations uncovered his friend, Bright Awe, whom he had a monetary engagement with prior to his demise as a suspect. Addressing journalists during a joint news conference by the Police CID and the Cybersecurity Authority CSA, Director General of the CID, COP Lydia Yako Donko, provided details of investigations into the matter, including a forensic inspection which revealed an attempt by the suspect to cover bloodstains in his living room with fresh paint. She also noted that the police were on a manhunt for accomplices in connection with the murder.
The investigation took a decisive turn on 16 July 2025 when the CID, supported by officers from the counter-terrorism unit and the Akwatia District Police, visited the suspect's residence. A forensic inspection revealed the following: blood stains in the living room and evidence of attempted cleanup, freshly sprayed walls, and empty can of spray paint. A search of a secondary crime scene near the GBC Satellite area also uncovered a burnt woolen carpet stained with blood and partially burnt camouflage fabric. A special operation is currently underway to identify and arrest his accomplices, and we are following other vital leads to gather all necessary evidence against the suspect and his accomplices.
In a related development, the police, through a joint operation with Interpol, FBI, the Customs Division, and other transnational agencies, have retrieved 43 high-value luxury vehicles stolen from abroad and imported to Ghana. Meanwhile, the Cybersecurity Authority has announced that 13 out of 16 foreign nationals involved in online scams will soon be repatriated.
July 17, a second joint operation was carried out in Botiano, English, and Manfro. 16 suspects, all foreign nationals, were arrested. The team retrieved 22 laptops, 11 mobile phones, and 13 of the arrested suspects are currently being processed for repatriation to their home countries.
But given the transnational dimension to crime, particularly in recent times, the Cybersecurity Authority and the Ghana Police Service have underscored the need for an active collaborative approach in tackling same. Reporting for Channel 1 News, Fauzuma Saudu, Accra.
Now, the Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment has temporarily shut down the National Service Centralized Management System to conduct a forensic audit. The move is aimed at eliminating ghost names and curbing financial fraud. Although PIN codes for prospective personnel have already been generated, registration and deployment for the 2025-2026 service year have been suspended. Sector Minister George Opariado made the announcement during the Government Accountability Series. Channel 1 News' Sarah Pia reports.
On June 13, Attorney General Dr. Dominic Ayine revealed that the state lost over 548 million Ghana cedis due to ghost names on the national service payroll, a challenge the current administration is determined to resolve. Today, Youth Development Minister George Opariado announced that the centralized management system has been shut down for a comprehensive audit. While this will temporarily delay the deployment of about 130,000 service personnel, the minister says the move is necessary to ensure a transparent and efficient registration process going forward.
Registration and deployment processes are currently paused due to the system shutdown of the centralized service management platform ordered for audit purposes. Shutdown of the National Service Centralized Service Management Platform. Ladies and gentlemen, as you recall, the ministry announced the suspension of the central management system used for postings by the National Service Authority. This action followed a directive from the presidency ordering the suspension of the system for a comprehensive and forensic audit by the Ghana Audit Service, and I believe we all know why we've done that. This suspension has become necessary following revelations that the system has been used to perpetuate serious financial fraud. That is the ghost name scandals that has been haunting the authority for some time now, which had become an albatross around the neck of the authority.
The minister also outlined plans for a 6-week basic militia orientation for all service personnel starting August 31. The program aims to instill discipline and promote patriotism among the youth.
In a significant move to promote national discipline, foster patriotism, and enhance the physical development of our young graduates, His Excellency, the President has directed the National Service Authority to implement a 6-week basic military orientation program. This initiative is in accordance with the National Service Act, Act 1119, and aligns with the strategic objectives outlined in the National Service Policy. The National Service Authority will collaborate with the Ghana Armed Forces to carry out this program. This orientation is designed to cover 100,000 national service personnel.
In a related development, the ministry has launched the Red Means Stop campaign under the National Anti-Substance Abuse Initiative to combat the rising menace of drug abuse, particularly opioid addiction among young people.
The ministry recognizes this as a significant public health challenge and is taking decisive actions to address substance abuse through targeted prevention, education, and rehabilitation initiatives aimed at safeguarding the health and future of our youth.
The minister further disclosed that the Ejumawura and National Apprenticeship programs have so far enrolled over 120,000 and 115,000 participants respectively, including persons with disabilities.
Now, the National Identification Authority, NIA, has cut off the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, from its identity verification service platform due to unpaid service fees. The NIA says the GRA alone owes more than 376 million cedis, while other key institutions, including the National Health Insurance Authority, NHIA, and the Passport Office, have accumulated debts of $58 million and $20 million, respectively. The authority warns these arrears are crippling its operations. Channel 1 News' Elizabeth Kabuki Okanse reports.
The Identity Verification Service platform plays a vital role in confirming identities for revenue collection, health insurance, and passport services. However, the NIA says rising debts from state agencies are threatening its financial sustainability. Speaking at a press briefing, Head of Corporate Affairs at the NIA, Williams Ampoma Emmanuel Delis, called on all indebted institutions to clear their arrears without delay.
We are appealing to these public institutions to fulfill their financial obligations owed to us so that we can maximize our operations. Failure to fulfill their financial obligations will be left with no other choice than to deny them of the services.
The authority also announced that staff have received a 20% operational support allowances covering January to July 2025.
I'm happy to announce that the 20% staff operational allowance is being paid, and the arrears from January to July has been cleared.
Meanwhile, the NIA has intensified its clampdown on foreigners attempting to unlawfully obtain Ghana cards. One offender is already serving an 8-month jail term, while 7 Nigerians are expected to be sentenced on Wednesday.
We went to the Dansoman Circuit Court with about 7 Nigerians who attempted to register for the citizens card. God willing, on 6th August, that is Wednesday, we are reappearing with them, and we are hopeful we will get conviction.
The National Identification Authority says they are putting in measures to ensure a clean and transparent registration for all Ghanaians in the country. Reporting for Channel 1 News, I am Elizabeth Kapuki Okanse.
Now, the 2025 West African Senior School Certificate Examination WASSCE begins on August 5 with the Ghana Education Service GES and the West African Examination Council's WAEC assuring heightened security measures in conflict-prone areas such as Boku and Nkwanta following recent chieftaincy clashes. Channel 1 News' Melody Fafa Kwotufe reports.
The 2025 WASSCE will run from Tuesday, August 5 to Friday, September 19, with 461,640 candidates expected to sit for the exams across 701 centers nationwide, a 0.2% increase compared to last year, according to the GES. Concerns, however, linger over security in Boku and Nkwanta, where renewed chieftaincy clashes recently forced the closure of some second-cycle schools. Director General of the GES, Professor Ernest Kofi Davis, disclosed at a press briefing on August 4 that candidates from Boku Senior High, Zuarongo Senior High, Nalirigu Senior High, and Nkwanta Senior High schools have returned to school and will write their exams despite ongoing tensions.
We've taken adequate security measures. I will give you some of the specifics. So we are in touch with the security agencies there, and the students are going to take their exams in the school under security protection. I can confirm that because I just had conversation with them before coming to this meeting.
Professor Davis also warned invigilators and supervisors against aiding examination malpractice cautioning that anyone found culpable will face dismissal.
We know the effect of examination malpractice on the integrity of the certificate and the education system as a whole. So they shouldn't do it. We want to protect the integrity of our examination. The information for them is that they will be dismissed because if they are caught, because the GES Council has given GES the power to dismiss invigilators and supervisors who are caught.
WASSCE Head of Public Affairs, John Cappy, reiterated the Council's zero-tolerance policy on malpractice, urging candidates to steer clear of any such act or risk severe sanctions. The Ghana Education Service and WASSCE say they are ensuring that all logistics and security measures are in place for the 2025 WASSCE examination. Reporting for Channel 1 News, Melody Fafa Botufe.
You're watching Channel 1 Newsroom on Channel 1 Television. Still ahead. State Housing Company engages local and foreign firms to revive stalled affordable housing projects. More on that when we return.
Hey, so mommy, who is going to do my wade jollof?
Oh, Kwame. You know our secret, right?
Yeah.
Efia.
Yes, me. I've got it.
Now add your Chino jollof mix. The perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time. And there you have it, your original Ghana jollof.
Jollof Soko.
Jollof Soko. Tasty near.
What is going on here?
Enjoy jollof the Ghana way. Gino jollof is made with the perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time.
This
advert is FDA approved.
In a fast-growing urban environment like Accra, safety is as important as the air that we breathe. Hear the real stories from those who now feel safe like never before with Response One.
Hello Ghana, I'm Tommy Ananforsen. Our homes are our sanctuary. But safety is not all about locks, fences, and cameras. This is where Response One comes in. Their advanced monitored alarm system just doesn't record crime, it prevents it. In moments of danger, Response One's 24/7 monitoring ensures immediate help. With their theft protection guarantee, this is true peace of mind. I trust Response One to keep my family safe. You should too. Visit responseoneghana.com or call 0302 Secure 1.
Response One. Stay connected, stay protected.
You're welcome back. Next is Channel 1 Business with Netili Neti Ajao.
Channel 1 Business is brought to you by MTN and Ecobank.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here. and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you bank like this. So have we. We've made it easier than ever to open an account online and bank on the go through our mobile app, online banking, and more. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way.
Sign here, and here.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
And Nete is in studio with us. Nete, tell us what's in business.
We have a lot of stories for you, and the State Housing Company is set to partner with both local and international construction firms to fast-track the completion of stalled affordable housing projects across the country. Under this renewed strategy, the selected firms will pre-finance the projects, a move expected to boost efficiency and revive development abandoned by previous administrations. Daniel Odromensa has more in this report.
At the commissioning of Seasons Courts, a newly completed apartment complex featuring 2- and 3-bedroom units in Accra, Managing Director John Bauer reaffirmed the government's commitment to delivering housing projects that have suffered long delays.
The strategy is to bring in major contracting companies, both local and international, who have the financial muscle. You know, one of the biggest strengths State Housing has is our brand equity and consumer trust. And so once the buildings start going up, as you heard the business development manager say, this building is already sold out, and yet we're just commissioning it. So our offtake is our security.
The managing director further assured prospective homeowners that all lands secured by the company for its projects are litigation-free, ensuring a smooth acquisition process.
State housing lands are traditionally known either to be acquired through EI and handed over to us by government to make their dream of affordable housing possible. But State Housing on its own also goes into land purchase agreements. And the advantage for us is we have a whole department that is specialized in estate management. And so the background checks on lands, you know, making sure we are buying from the right families, from the right traditional authorities, from the right sellers, and ensuring that all of the proper documentation is done. Make sure that our lands come hassle-free, contrary to a lot of lands that you have. So people buy from us, they are buying confidence in the state brand. And you know, if anybody comes to mess with State Housing land, you are messing with the whole machinery of the government of Ghana.
The managing director of State Housing Company has expressed his commitment to ensure that all uncompleted building projects under previous administrations will be completed. For Channel One Business, I am Daniel Odromensa.
Now, President John Dramani Mahama has directed the Interior, Transport and Foreign Affairs Ministers to fast-track the rollout of e-visa services using the new Air Navigation Services and Multi-Agency Command Center with API and PNR systems. Daniel Sakiti has more details in the story.
The newly commissioned Air Navigation Services and the Multi-Agency Command Center for the Advanced Passenger Information and Passenger Name Record Systems represent another major investment in Ghana's aviation infrastructure as part of the country's broader strategy to position itself as a leading aviation hub in West Africa. Speaking at the commissioning ceremony, President John Mahama highlighted the importance of the API and PNR systems in managing passenger and travel documents data, stressing the platform could be a critical step towards achieving full e-visa rollout.
The introduction of the API and PNR systems provides a strong digital platform on which other critical services can be integrated. And that's why I'm directing the Honorable Ministers responsible for Interior, Transport, and Foreign Affairs to collaborate to ensure that this platform is expanded to enable us quickly implement the long-awaited e-visa services for the country. I'm charging them to extend this system to cover both the sea and land border posts, integration with our e-gate systems, and the adoption of the capabilities to extend to perform the advanced cargo information system, also for the benefits of our customs.
President Mahama also underscored the role of API and PNR systems in enhancing aviation security, stating that the technologies will be instrumental in combating crime and terrorism while strengthening safety across the industry.
The importance of these systems cannot be overstated. They will enable our security agencies, one, to collect and process passenger data in real time, identify potential threats before arrival or departure, streamline immigration and custom procedures, and enhance the overall efficiency and security of air travel.
Transport Minister Joseph Bukari Nikpe has tasked the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority to ensure that the newly commissioned facilities are effectively utilized to deliver their intended impact.
Acting Director General and staff and management, we want to charge you to ensure that you put these facilities to good use, and that will position us to become the actual hub to aviation in the West Africa sub-region.
Now let's bring you an update on how the currency is performing on the interbank market. And that's all for Channel One Business. I am Netele Nete Ajaho. Back to you, Sanda.
Thank you so much, Netele Nete, with the latest in the world of business. To some other stories now. And Bernard Bediako has been elected as a parliamentary candidate for the National Democratic Congress NDC in the upcoming Akwatia constituency by-elections. Mr. Bediako, who currently serves as the constituency secretary of the NDC, secured 380 votes out of the 980 valid votes cast, defeating two other contenders, including his own client and former Member of Parliament for Akwatia, Henry Boachi Yadom, and Erasmus Kone Ali. Erasmus Kone Ali received 366 votes, while Henry Boachi Yadom garnered 226 votes. The Eastern Regional Director of the Electoral Commission, John Apia Bafo, declared Bernard Bediako Beidu the winner following the official count. With this victory, Beidu will represent the NDC in the upcoming by-election on September 2, 2025, where he will face Solomon Asumedu, the candidate for the New Patriotic Party.
Now I invite candidate Bernard Bediako Beidu to come here. For commission, I declare Mr. Bernard Bediako Beidu as candidate-elect for the NDC for the Akwatia parliamentary by-elections.
Now, the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, KMA, has directed the transfer of the head teacher and several staff members of Bokrom Estate MA Basic School in the Ashanti region following allegations of charging pupils unapproved fees. Channel 1 News' Ashanti Regional Correspondent Doris Lonta has more.
The directive comes after a viral video on TikTok drew attention to compulsory charges and the collection of unauthorized items imposed on pupils by the head teacher and some teachers of the school. In a statement, the assembly indicated that the narrator of the video alleged pupils who failed to comply were either sent home or denied access to certain school services. According to KMA, preliminary investigations have confirmed aspects of the allegations, leading to the formation of a disciplinary committee to investigate further. The Deputy Director of Supervision at the GES Kumasi Metro Office provided more details.
On the 13th of July this year, the office received a message from the Regional Education Directorate that there is a viral TikTok messages on illegal collection of fees or levies at Bokrom Estate MA Basic School. When the officers went there, it was true that some levies were being collected in the school. Actually, to them, they said it was PTA levy, but they termed it as what? School levies. So quickly we came back and we made our reports to the Regional Education Directorate.
KM also announced that as an interim measure, the Metropolitan Chief Executive has instructed the Metro Director of Education to transfer the head teacher and all implicated staff from the school while the disciplinary process continues. Public Relations Officer of KMA, Henriette Fia Kunedu Abwaji, also gave further clarification.
For the interim, the mayor has directed that the head teacher and the affected teachers be transferred pending the outcome of the full investigation. We also want the public to know that, both parents and the public to know that whatever happens at the disciplinary committee, they'll be made known so that together we can restore normalcy and bring some peace into our school environment.
The Assembly has assured parents and the general public that appropriate disciplinary action will be taken against teachers if found culpable. Reporting for Channel 1 News, I'm Doris Lonta, Ashanti Region.
Now, the issue of Galamsey is a national crisis that we have been dealing with for a while now without success. Recall that the Akufo-Addo administration had been fighting Galamsey. The president himself put his presidency on the line. But after 8 years, we, as a station that first started that campaign, Stop Galamsey Now, in the year 2017, we've discovered that not much has been done. There was a call for a state of emergency in our mining areas. There were plans to embark on a strike. All of these have not really led to anything. The Mahama administration is in its 7th month, or is it 6th month? How is the administration faring in the fight against Galamsey? And what are we seeing? Are there telltale signs that we are succeeding? On our series of conversations on Galamsey, we brought in our correspondents who have been covering Galamsey areas or mining areas to have a conversation with them. Akwatia NDC is our correspondent in the Western region. Akwatia, you're welcome.
Thank you.
The last time I came to Takrady, I flew by air, and when I was descending to the airport, I saw this groundnut soup flowing. That should be which river?
That's Pra.
Pra. Is it still the same, or things are improving? Again, the Minister for Lands is from your region, so I'm sure it will be a personal fight for him.
Well, I'll say, in terms of the color, it hasn't changed that much, because the scientists will tell you that even if you should stop the Galamsey today, it will take a while before we'll actually see a change. A change in the color of the river. So for now, I'll say it's still the same. Although there is a suspicion that the Galamsey is still going on. So it will be too wild an expectation to see the water. Water color changing at this stage.
What is the situation? So, which are the Galamsey areas in your region?
Well, I'll say for Western region we have 17. Areas. Let me use constituencies.
Districts.
For the districts, I would say it's only Shama and say Sekendi Takrady, Metropolis, Sekendi Takrady, Efia Kwesimintim.
The capital.
That we are not seeing Galamsey.
So it's only in the city.
In the city.
And now we are not seeing mining, or we are not seeing Galamsey.
Galamsey, I would say. But for the rest of the districts, MMDs, they are all experiencing some element of Galamsey. Talk of Hunter West, which is next to Shama, next to Sekendi Takrady, it is also facing the same.
So that's on the way to Côte d'Ivoire.
Côte d'Ivoire, yeah, and that's what I said. Besides Shama and Sekendi Takrady, Efia Kwesimintim, the three areas, the rest are all experiencing Galamsey.
What about if you're driving towards Cape Coast from Western region?
That is the Shama bit. That is the Shama area. What is happening in Shama is that because the Pra River is there, whatever Galamsey activities happening in the WASSCE areas, the Mpoho areas, the Naboase areas, we see the residue of the pollution actually coming via the river into Shama. And so you see some of the tributaries of the Pra River all experiencing this pollution, thinking that it is actually happening there. But they are just basically, recipients of the disaster happening.
So you have Ankobra, you have Pra, right? Those are the major
Pra,
rivers.
we have Tunnel.
Okay. And all of them flow into the sea, and they come with the debris and the color. Talking about Western region, you also have eyes on the Western North. Do we see illegal mining there as well?
Very much so. Western North starts all the way from the Awin areas to the Akontomras, the Enchi. You know, if you take the Awin, the Akontom area, that's why we have our thick forests. If you have to take the western side, and all these, forest bodies were having some galamsey actually happening there until the recent, fight by the government to sort of, clear these people over there. They were all actually.
So there's mining in water bodies and mining in forest areas.
Exactly so.
Both are happening in the two regions that you have eyes on, the western and western north.
Exactly so.
And the one in the rivers would see it by the color of the water.
Yeah.
But the one in the forest, how do we see it? How do we see the evidence?
Well, you know, some of these river bodies also passes through portions of the forest. And so whatever they do finds itself into some of the river bodies. Yeah, it's very, very difficult assessing the forest because of the level of arming they've done to their, they've brought to their operations, having guns. So it is very difficult to actually walk there as a reporter or as any ordinary observer. But at least you have locals who feed you with these information that these things are happening in the area. And on the river bodies, beside the color, you see these small champagne mounted on platforms that they use to wash these things. And they are visible when you go to some of these areas. The sad thing is that, you have security people who passes through these areas, they see these things, but these things are happening. I can say for a fact that it is true that the government of the day is fighting to clear some of these things, but the fact of the matter is that people are still questioning whether those they are arresting are the people they should be arresting. You know, there was a debate prior to the coming into office of this government that there's a need for them to go after the campaigns, those financiers behind the fight. And the country is waiting to see prosecution and arrest of these financiers because they are the people who get these lands, these operations active. So if today you arrest their boys, definitely they can still use their money to mobilize other people to go back to do these things.
15 seconds. Based on all what this government is doing, are you hopeful that we'll see an end to galamsey in the near future?
It will take a while because for me, I think we've seen some kind of commitment, but the commitment will have to be felt down there in the sense that the government of the day is not just using the minister to fight galamsey. He is working with state agencies. We're talking about the security agencies. Are they doing their work? Do they buy into the government's view? The Minerals Commission. If you go there, they have the Mineral Commission district officers. They are the monitors, the regulators. Are they doing their work?
Very well.
So the narrative can be there, but if those down there at the ground are not, following the directives,
it's pointless.
It will not.
Akwatia NDC is our correspondent in the Western region. This is Channel 1 Newsroom on Channel 1 Television. Debate erupts as GFA considers extending presidential term limit to 3. We'll be right back.
Hey Ghana, so you people know Miss Brother Man Small. If you knew, it's your boy. Kill them all. But this time, I'm not only killing mosquitoes, I am killing the greats. See? This wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have the perfect mosquito-free atmosphere. Thank you, Out Insecticide. And yeah, Out Mosquito Coil. For a mosquito-free atmosphere, trust Out to... You are not serious.
Out Insecticide. So ya boa, faha.
You're welcome back. Next is Channel 1 Sports with Gabi Ofe. And I have the man in studio. I've just been told your other name is Isaac, so you are Gabriel and Isaac. Angel Gabriel and Isaac, the son of Abraham.
Yes, that's true, Sunday.
Oh, nice. Tell us about Isaac Ket Okreku.
Let's get into it. Well, ahead of the Ghana Football Association's 31st Ordinary Congress for August 12 at the Ghana Soccer Center of Excellence in Prom, some football stakeholders have expressed divergent views over a key proposal expected to be addressed at the meeting with regards to the possible extension of the GFA presidential term limit to 3 terms. Now, the debate stems from a recommendation by the GFA Statutes Review Committee, which has submitted a proposal to member clubs for consideration ahead of the Congress. A wave of diverse opinions within the Ghanaian football space has sparked widespread interest and scrutiny ahead of the upcoming GFA Congress at the Ghana Soccer Center of Excellence on August 12. The development follows a proposal from the GFA Statutes Review Committee recommending an extension of the GFA presidential term limit from 2 to 3 terms. The proposal has been submitted to clubs and is expected to be formally tabled at the 31st Ordinary Congress. Under the current arrangement, the GFA president is limited to 2 terms, despite members of the Executive Council, which includes the president, being eligible to serve up to 3 terms. This inconsistency has prompted calls for alignment, giving rise to intense debate. The proposed amendment has triggered a range of reactions within the last 24 hours, including support from former GFA Communications Director Ibrahim Sani Dara, who has publicly backed the move to extend the presidential term to 3.
But if you are to look at it from the football context, football has got its own language, its own politics, its own ways of doing things that is distinctively different from where we sit in the world order. You would understand this. And the fact that this term limits are extended, would not prevent somebody from contesting. If we feel that the FA president we have at the moment is not popularized in the rest, the football family have got their own election, and it won't prevent anyone from contesting.
A key stakeholder in Ghanaian football expressed a differing opinion from that of Ibrahim Sani Dara.
I find it laughable. I find it a slap in the face of good governance, and I dare say it's a betrayal of the principles that underpin the 2019 statutes and regulations that was brought into play. Why do I say this? I say this because I see this move as a pure move to grab power and to hold on to it and to perpetuate a dynasty, a cycle. I can call it whatever you want.
Some sports enthusiasts argue that the extension may hold little relevance, citing the mixed performance of Ket Okreku's administration.
For me, I think he should give a chance to other people to contest, because I don't even know what he has done. What has he done to Ghana football? What has he done actually?
When we go to AFCON, at first we used to go to final and the rest. Since he came, things are condemned.
GFA boss Ket Okreku's tenure, his 60th tenure in office, has been marked by some successes and challenges. Now it remains to be seen at that Congress on August 12 at the Ghana Soccer Center of Excellence if football people would approve of that proposal by the GFA Statute Committee with regards to an extension of the term in office. For Channel 1 Sports, I am Gabi Ofe. Now away from the Premier League CEO Richard Master says the league is ready to adapt as the new UK football regulator prepares to take effect. Now, he confirms the league is already adjusting financial rules, aligning with UEFA's squad cost ratio model, and also preparing for tougher oversight on ownership and club sustainability. The regulator, backed by the Football Governance Bill, will enforce transparency, fan engagement, and financial discipline. Master says the clubs must be ready to meet higher standards from reporting practices to formal fan consultation.
In the UK, there's a new regulator coming to look at certain aspects of football, and we're going to have to adjust to that. We're ready for it all, and we approach next season with optimism. They're there to put a brake on spending, ultimately, and provide a competitive balance within the league. So the choice now is to whether to continue with that system or possibly adjust it, or move to a system that's more aligned with UEFA. It's called squad cost ratio. On our clubs, we debate it out with our clubs.
And that's the very latest in the world of sports. I am Gabi Ofer. Back to you, Sonda.
Thank you so much, Bra Ike. And that's it for Channel 1 Newsroom on Channel 1 Television. I am Umaru Sandabode. Thank you so much for watching us.